following NBC sports program is brought to you in living color.
20 years ago, in 1955, the All-Star Game was held at Milwaukee County Stadium. The host for that game, the National League Milwaukee Brewers. And now, 20 years later, the second All-Star Game ever to be held at Milwaukee. Our host is the American League Milwaukee Brewers. As NBC Sports presents the 1975 All-Star Game, brought to you by your nearby Dodge dealer, who invite you to see why a lot of people are saying, "Hey, Charger," by the Gillette Track 2 shaving system, the closest thing to a perfect shave. And by Sears Tire and Auto Centers, now featuring the Sears Dynaglass Guardsman Radio. Hi, everybody. Kurt Gowdy with Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek. And welcome to baseball's 46th All-Star Game.
From the Kansas City Royals, pitcher Steve Busby. Outfielder Al McRae. From the Milwaukee Brewers, outfielder Hank Aaron.
We'll return to County Stadium for the 1975 All-Star Game as the National League All-Stars meet the American League All-Stars. Here's Ron Say. Let's see what he does. Back-to-back home runs by Garvey and Wynn. The National League's out in front 2-0. They've won 11 of the last 12, 3 in a row. Blue has been rocked here. Busby's warming up in the American League bullpen. We pause briefly for identification. This is the NBC television network. That was a very tough call, and the third base umpire, Bruce Croming, made the final decision on it. He had the best angle.
I think he got it in the webbing.
Well, the new pitcher is Steve Busby for the American League, who's won 11 and lost 7 this year. Earned run average of 2.64. Lives in Linda, California, born in Burbank. He's a cousin of Jim Busby, the Atlanta coach. He attended USC, who turns out so many outstanding collegiate players that go on into Major League Baseball. He pitched 2 no-hitters in the major leagues against the Tigers in '73, against Milwaukee last year. Here are the coaches. Red Schoendienst is coaching a third for the National League, and the canny Irishman Danny Murtaugh over at first.
He's some piece of work, isn't he?
Oh.
What a guy.
He's made more comebacks than any show business personality. Lou Brock starts it off, third inning. The National League ahead 2-0. Brock, Morgan, and Bench. Foul away. Brock, his first time up, fly to left. Busby last pitched on Thursday. Went all the way, losing 3-2 to the Tigers. The American League staff has rested. It may not have been in order, but a very strong recommendation by American League President Lee McPhail. Don't work your pitchers on Sunday, you managers. Let's go in there and try and win one. Ball and a strike to Lou Brock. Blue was cuffed around. In 2 innings, he gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, both homers. 1-2.
Tony, is it just me, but look at his bat. Doesn't it look a little more yellow than normal, like it's been soaked in oil or something?
Now what they call a Harry Walker bat, where they used to dip it in a certain kind of paint or shellac.
Yeah, but that's not two-tone.
There's a shot in the gap. Rudy very quickly up. Brock makes his turn. And now we'll see the all-time holder of the base stealing record in 1 year. 118 last year, Lou Brock go to work. And already the crowd, even though he's a National Leaguer thing, go, go. Brock tied with Cedeno for second in the National League in stolen bases with 36.
He's got to be careful, though. That Busby's got a great move. He's probably got the best move for a right-handed pitcher I've seen, and he's liable to pick him right off.
Joe Morgan, single to center his first time. a pair of this is there. Brock at first and Morgan at the bat. Morgan can pull the ball behind the runner. He could dump one. He could drag. He could go for power. And an extra base hit could score Brock from first. Brock gets about a 3.5-step lead. That's all he wants, he says. Quick move. Balk! Balk has been called on Steve Busby.
This is the one they've been calling a lot this year, where that right-handed pitcher just pivots on that left heel. You've got to step toward the bag and throw. You can't pivot and then step after you throw, deceiving the base runner.
Now, Morgan for sure will be trying to hit that ball to the right side. And move Brock to third, at least, or get him in. They're still even with the bags at the corners. Just a little high and outside.
Reggie Jackson in right field is playing very shallow.
I'd say so.
Ooh.
Joe can hit that ball over his head. He's had 13 homers this year. For a little fella, amazing power. The 1-0 delivery coming up to Joe Morgan with Brock at second, nobody out. That was a breaking pitch down.
You got to believe that Jackson figures if he gets a hold of that ball with the kind of power he's got, he's going to be in the seats anyhow. And if he smashes one on the ground, he'll have a play at the plate. And so he's going to gamble. He's given up an awful lot of ground behind him, but he's a gambling outfielder.
The 2-0 pitch.
Look out, second base.
Good pitch by Busby. Breaking pitch behind 2-0. There's Brock at second. He singled, went to second on a balk. Nobody out. National League ahead 2-0. We're in the top of the third inning. Morgan hits a high pop to first baseman Gene Tennis. Takes it in foul ground. There's one down. Brock holding at second. Johnny Bench fouled to third his first time up. We've had only 2 previous balks in All-Star games. Bob Friend in 1960 and Old Turkey Neck Stu Miller in 1961.
But you remember that one in Candlestick Park? It blew him off the mound.
Yogi was hitting.
I
played in that game. That's the one where Kenny Boyer made all the errors. The wind was swooshing ground balls around the infield. Balls were bouncing over guys' heads. Wind pushed.
Johnny Bench up. Brock at second. Brock usually he starts a dash. Brock doesn't steal third much. Most of his steals last year, his record-breaking season, were the second.
Caruso was standing on the second base bag trying to hold him close.
He stole third base only 6 times last year and was caught stealing at third twice, so he made only 8 attempts all year.
Here he goes.
There it goes. There's a throw. Wide. He's in there. Brock steals third. He got a good jump on Busby.
Here's Lou Brock. Busby at a little disadvantage as he's not able to work his pickoff plays to bases with men from opposing teams. Munson got rid of the ball quickly, but there's no chance. Now the infield forced to come in.
That's what they come to say to the men do what they do best. Brock has just done it. The infield in now with 1 out. The National League already leading 2-0. Johnny Bench the batter. Holds up on the sharp breaking curve at the 2-1 count to Johnny Bench. Steve Garvey's on deck.
Reggie Smith was agitating over on the National League bench. He had a towel. He was waving Brock to come on over and see us.
The 3-0 delivery. There's a base hit. Brock comes in to score. Bench will make the turn. Rudy may hold him to a single. He does. 3-0 National League as they continue to hammer away.
Bench leading the National League in doubles. Let's look again at the last time that Garvey came to the plate, and here's that home run.
And this was really blasted, Joe.
Yes, it was. No doubt about it. Fastball, Mr. Class.
Steve Garvey up again. All-Star most valuable player, the National League's most valuable player, and a Gold Glove first baseman in his first year as a regular. Busby had him going for that curveball.
tell you guys, if I had to build a ball player, I'd use this guy as a blueprint, because all you got to do is just start him on the field. He's going to hit you 300, going to drive you into runs, and going to give you no trouble at all off the field.
Never misses a game.
That's right.
1 ball, 1 strike. Jim went on deck. I couldn't believe some of the stories we were reading last week about supposedly, and I say supposedly, some of his teammates criticized him because he was such a nice guy.
Signing autographs.
1 ball, 2 strikes, yeah.
Talking to the people, going to banquets.
Doing things that he should be doing.
What's this world coming to when you got to defend yourself because you're a good guy?
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I bet you turn him upside down and you find a good housekeeping seal on his feet.
He bounces this one foul. 1 and 2. Bench will go back to first base.
Oh, Red.
Shane Dean's played here in Milwaukee. Helped him to a pennant. Played after, is that the year after he had tuberculosis?
When he was here, yes. What a battle that was, and he won it.
The National League's leading 3-0 in the top of the 3rd inning. Garvey asking for time. Jim Wynn's on deck. 7 hits already for the National League, and there's the toy cannon. Not much of a lead for Bench. Garvey still has the count of 1 and 2. The National League has won 11 of the last 12, winning 8 in a row from 63 through 70. They lost in 71. Vida Blue was the winning pitcher in that game. And the National League has won the last 3. That ball's hit hard in the left. That's 2 for 2 for Steve Garvey. Came in here with their hitting clothes on tonight. 3 hits this inning off Busby. Now here's Jimmy Wynn's home run. Tony Kubek his last time up.
Off Vida Blue once again. He got about the same pitch, maybe a little bit more over the plate than the one Garvey hit. Didn't hit it quite as good.
That one sort of floated in.
Yeah.
Jimmy Wynn. Runners on first and second, 1 out. 8 hits for the Nationals. Maybe a double play. They've got 1. Over they go to first. Wide. Caru's throw was high and pulled tennis off the bag. He had a tough pivot at second.
Threw a little bit off balance. The ball might have gotten stuck in his glove. Remember, he got tore up a couple of years ago, that knee, when somebody really belted him. Garvey got down quickly with men on first and second. A nice play by Gino.
Tony, looked like he didn't get to that bag in the way he should have. He was off balance when he took the throw.
He did. I don't know what happened, Joe. He threw off the wrong foot.
Yeah,
the
that ball was there
in the webbing of his glove.
I guess that's why they say you can never anticipate a double play. It looks like a double play ball, but...
Well, that was definitely, I think, a double play ball, Kurt. And for some reason, Carew seemed to be there waiting, and that might have, the timing was off. But then, without sounding making an alibi, obviously they haven't played together, and it gets to be a thing where you know what the other guy's going to do. And here, sometimes...
They've been talking out there.
They have to be.
Carew went over and talked to Campaneris. All right, that was Wes Stock, the American League pitching coach, out talking to Steve Busby. Over at third is Johnny Bench. At first base is Jim Wynn. There are 2 down. The National League's ahead, 3-0, top of the 3rd. Ron Sayup, he singled to left field his first time. That breaking pitch darting low and away for a ball. Rich Gossage of the White Sox is warming up now for the American League. 3 Dodgers had 3 hits in a row in the second inning. Moved to first.
That's the one our cameraman had so much fun
right.
with in that last Monday night game we did.
Jack McKeon tried that in Kansas City and picked 2 of our cameramen off. They've been working out, though. He won't get them the next time.
1-0 to Ron Say. He hits a fly ball to left fielder Rudy. Back he goes.
Oh.
What a grab by Rudy. That's the kind of plays he makes in the World Series all the time.
He actually misjudged the ball. He started in and then had to really backtrack fast. But he recovered very well to save another run or maybe 2.
Well, the National League picked up a run at the end of 2 1/2. It's 3-0 National League. Here are the two managers, Alvin Dark. He managed the National League team to an All-Star victory once. And Walter Alston. 8 times previously he's managed All-Star teams. Concepcion leading off, just made that fine play. And he lines a base hit in the left field. The National League keeps hammering away. And coming up now, we'll have a pinch hitter for Jerry Royce. It's like Bob Watson, who scored the 1 millionth run in the history of baseball this year. Walter Alston has more All-Star victories than any other manager, 6. Here is a player I want to see what you fellas think. I think does not really get the credit nationally he deserves, Bob Watson.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Kurt. He has had a fine year. He's quiet. He doesn't talk a lot. He's really a very Christian man, too, and he does a lot of things. And here we'll see the 1 millionth home run is scored by Bob Watson.
1 millionth run. Right.
The loudest that I've ever heard him, Kurt, is when he put that uniform on.
Runner on first. Concepcion. There he goes. Hit and run. Throw. Out. Rod Carew took the peg. Munson can really get rid of the ball.
He sidearmed that ball, actually. That's not a picture throw, but by Munson's own admission, he says, I'm not a picture kind of player. A good jump, but as Munson and Kurt said, got rid of that ball, and the tag, Concepcion claims the tag was high, but Carew gave it a nice, light, feathery touch, kind of pickpocket version. Watch this throw. Sidearm. That looked like a wet page from the baseball primer.
Not supposed to do that?
Not supposed to do
But
it.
it works.
But don't judge me on my method, on my
Right.
results.
1 ball, 1 strike to Bob Watson. 5th in batting in the National League with 326. High fly to Joe Rudy in left. Plenty of room. 2 down. And to the top of the order we go. And now Rose will be hitting left. He singled right-handed in the first inning and flied out right-handed in the second. 1 out of 2.
You know, Munson kind of reminds me of great Ernie Lombardi, the way he threw it, in many ways. I mean, Ernie would just flip that ball and look like you're going to beat it, and you couldn't steal on him.
Pete Rose tied with Garvey for second in the majors in base hits. Hits a line shot to Campanera. That was a quick inning. At the end of 3 1/2, it's the National League 3, the American League nothing.
Well, it's the bottom of the 9th, do or die, and Hal McRae has come out of the American League dugout. He'll be the pinch hitter, and Randy Jones from San Diego Padres will be the new pitcher for the National League.
And he'll try and hold a 3-run lead now in the last of the 9th inning. Hal McRae is going to come up to bat as a pinch hitter. He's a right-hander. He'll be followed by George Scott and then Rod Carew.
And Reggie Smith has gone to right field. So the outfield is switched around. Randy Jones is a new pitcher.
We've had 3 different players play each outfield position tonight for the National League.
Here is Hal McRae, 310, 4 home runs, 54 runs batted in. He's a good doubles man. That's his specialty. Hits a lot of doubles. 6-3, National League is leading. .25 doubles. And that leads the American League. It's got 54 runs batted in. Randy Jones. Here we go. It's a strike. His crowd, partisan American League, as you would expect, they want some action. 1-1. Off the end of the bat, Jones going to have an easy play. McRae is out. Jones to Perez.